everyone, so today I want to talk about my top 10 reasons why I think the Canon R6 is a great camera in 2021. So number one is the 4K 60 capabilities. And also on top of that, if you want even more frame rate or a faster frame rate, you can go to 120 and 1080, and that is with full autofocus. Number two, talking about video, Canon log. Being able to shoot Canon log with the Canon R6 at 10-bit 422 is amazing. You have so much range of dynamic range. You have the ability to color grade your footage to really make it your footage. And another thing to aid in video, and the next point is, number three, is the in-body image stabilization. That allows you to take slower shutter speed photos without picking up the camera shake or the shutter shake that you might get from using a slower shutter speed. And also you could shoot handheld video, which comes in really handy if you're trying to shoot at 23 frames per second and don't want to go into 60 or 120 and slow it down to make it look smoother. And another thing that goes along with this at number four is the 20 megapixel full frame sensor. Having that full frame sensor comes in really handy with low light situations, which this camera is great at, and that is number five. It is a great camera for low light situations, especially when you're trying to shoot night photography or you're trying to shoot portraits and the light is a little too dark. You're able to boost that ISO a little higher than you normally would think, and the grain is going to be pretty usable. It's not going to be really bad. Your images are still going to be sharp, which is really great, and something I love about using this camera for sports photography. And speaking of sports photography, our next point at number six is the shutter speed in continuous shooting modes. So with the mechanical shutter, you get 12 frames per second. And on the electronic shutter, which is also silent, you get 20 frames per second. You're not going to miss the action with that at all, which is really awesome. And at number seven, another thing I really love about the Canon R6 is the autofocus. So with the Canon R6, we get face detection tracking and eye detection. So like right now, it is detecting my eye on both of the cameras. So I can always move around and it will keep me in focus. Right there, back to my face. It just locks right back onto my face. Perfect every single time, which comes in really handy. And speaking of shooting sports or just shooting events where you're taking a bunch of photos, don't worry about the space. You have, at number eight, dual card slots. On the Canon R6, it is dual SD card slots. And you want to make sure you can get cards that can read and write the information quick enough so you don't fill up the shutter. And at number nine, something I love for this video is the pop-out screen on the side here. I'm able to see where my hand is just out of frame there and just out of frame here, and where my computer screen is and where everything is in frame here. And that comes in really handy where you're trying to set up the camera here and the camera here, because I could see where everything is without having to keep going back, setting down, looking at the footage. I can just set up the cameras and look at where I'm going to be at in the frame. And at number 10, the biggest thing that made the switch to mirrorless for me and going with the Canon R6 was the ability to use a Canon EF to RF mount adapter. I was able to take my EF lenses and adapt it to the Canon R6, which is the RF mount. And that came in really handy because I didn't want to have to spend the money on lenses yet on the RF mount, as they're still releasing new lenses every so often, and I'm just waiting for that one lens that I really want to invest in. And I think the 70-200 might be it. I have a 70-200 for the EF mount, as you can see back there. But I think having the RF mount will allow me to not have to always have the adapter, less space in the bag occasionally, even though they're pretty small adapters. So those are my top 10 things. If there's something you think I missed that you really love about your Canon R6, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I also would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to the channel. So with that said, I will see you guys next time.